Welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. What a disaster of a series. I'm your host, David Butler, and we are back, unfortunately, to talk about that series. Please make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube and or any other audio platform. Leave us a 5-star review and or leave some comments. The Milwaukee Brewers, the review of that. The Cubs were embarrassed. They didn't hit. They didn't pitch well. They didn't have good base running. And their defense, which is normally at least very good, was terrible. It was probably one of the worst series that I've seen from the Cubs in a good while, but especially with a team as talented as the one they have. Pitiful. That's all I got to say, man. I mean, it was absolutely pitiful and pathetic. The philosophy of this team has got to change. It's not just one of 162 all the time, guys. I understand the sentiment, but they were outclassed, outplayed, outmanaged, out-hit, outpitched. They didn't look like a team that wants to win the division. They didn't look like a team that intends to make Milwaukee not win. I mean, the Brewers continuously beat the Cubs ultimately. And they have for the last 7 years, every year since 2017, with the exception of 2020 and COVID. It counts, but it doesn't. It doesn't because it was a small sample size. Only 60 games. I understand that there's a 162 game season and that kind of it matters. But we went from 1.5 up to 1.5 down at home after having a 15 game winning streak at home. I understand they didn't play well on the road. All of that after that, they had the 15 game streak. But they should have at least been able to win one freaking game against Milwaukee at home. But they were not in it. Everybody is in Pete's head. That's on Council. Council and Bregman have got to figure that out. And I say Bregman because he's the one getting paid $35 million, partly because of what he can do on the field, which he's not doing, and partly because of what he can impact, supposedly, as a teammate and as a leader. And I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Everybody's trying to wait it out and draw walks and this stuff, but it doesn't matter how many freaking walks you draw. Matt said it last week, or on the last podcast. It doesn't matter how many you draw with that if you can't hit the freaking ball in timely manners. They had 2 hits yesterday in that game. The first one was the leadoff double by Nico, and then he gets picked off at third, trying to tag up and go to third. I like the aggressiveness, but we got to be smart, man. Like, these, and it just piles up. So that's probably not the end of the world, but when you have all this other stuff happening or not happening, it is the end of the world. And the way that, like, if you're watching the marquee network and the games, they're just carrying on like it doesn't matter that the Cubs are getting their butts kicked by the team that's won the division 7 of the last 8 years. That's insane. I mean, they didn't just get beat by like 1 run or anything. They got their butts kicked. I'm going to shut up because I'm just going to keep yelling. And it's ridiculous. The team has got to change their philosophy and have a little more urgency at times. I am over Ian Happ watching strike after strike after strike. At least he had a swinging strikeout yesterday. In Wednesday's game, how many strikeouts did he have looking this series? It was insane. That dude's striking out over 50% clip right now, over like the last 7 or 8 games. Maybe it's more than that. I should have looked it up, but I didn't want to throw a ton of stats out here because it's just pitiful what is happening right now. Absolutely pitiful and pathetic. They have got to turn it around, and they got to do it now. They're getting ready to play a Houston Astros team who is not very good. They're 20-31, tied for the second worst record in the AL. In their last 10, they're actually 4-6. I wouldn't have expected that. They're 18th in runs per game with a 4.27 runs per game, and the worst ERA in the majors at 5.34, and it's not even close. Like they have the worst worst ERA in the majors by 0.3. That's crazy. Over like the Rockies and other crap teams. That's insane. However, we get like their best starter by far right away Friday, tomorrow. Spencer Arrighetti. We'll get more into that in a minute. But all of these things, and I should be excited about this series and what the Cubs can do, but I'm not. Hopefully they can break out of this funk and get their crap together. They've been awful, and they've got to change the way they approach everything right now. As an organization, not just a major league team. I mean, we got to start with that. But the organization is relying too much on guys and too many guys who are too streaky and just, it is what it is, laissez-faire. It's 1 of 162. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. They're 29-21 by some grace of God right now. But think about that. They've had 2 10-game win streaks. Take away 20 wins, and what do they have? That's 9-21. That's terrible. I get that those win streaks count, and it's part of it. But how can you be that good and then that bad? Something's wrong with the way the philosophy is with this team. And they have got to start paying attention to what the Brewers do that they're not doing. And it's in the margins, but it's about the way they approach their hitting philosophy specifically. And I'm telling you what, the Brewers are more talented than the Cubs on the pitching staff. I would possibly think that they might be, even if Steele and Horton were healthy right now. That's how talented their pitching staff is. And if we can't, and I'm kind of talking out both sides of my mouth, but as talented as their pitching staff is, the Cubs offense is paid way too much money to only have 2 hits in game 3 and not put up more than what they've been doing over the last 3 games. It just is. They're paid too much, and if they're not talented enough, then why are they paid so much? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll shut up again. I'm sorry. The probable starters for Friday: Spencer Arrighetti, 5-1, a 1.50 for Houston. He's a right-handed pitcher. He will go against Jameson Taillon, who's 2-3 with a 4.97 ERA. Remember, I just said Jameson Taillon, who's given up the most home runs in the majors by far, has a 4.97 ERA. Saturday's starters are KY Tang. I think I said that right. He is 2-3 with a 2.61 ERA for Houston versus Colin Ray, who is 4-2 with a 4.98 ERA. Just a little bit worse than Jamos. Both of these guys need to get back on track. This seems like a decent lineup to do that on. And I have some hope, but it's very cautious hope. On Sunday, it's Peter Lambert, 2-4 with a 3.57 ERA against left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga, 4-4 with a 3.38 ERA. Listen, this is a big series for the Cubs. It shouldn't be, but it is. They need to get right on this series and in this series. I said they have the worst team ERA in the majors. Their bullpen is terrible. But they have probably their 3 best performance starters, at least, right now. So, let's see how this goes. I think that it's going to be potentially, like I said, this needs to be a get-right series. Their offense is led by Jordan Alvarez, who has a 1.017 OPS. Dude's tearing it up. He's about it. Christian Walker's been hot and cold, but Alvarez has been tearing it up all year. Christian Walker with an 819 OPS, and Carlos Correa with a 787 OPS. Thank you for listening to my rant and watching and or listening to Clark and Addison Born Into the Ivy. I'm your host, David. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and or any other audio platform. Leave us some comments and a 5-star review. Thank you. Have a great night. Let's go Cubs.